And welcome to Ducks No Sports. This week is my last install of my baseball previews. This week I give you all my good stuff, award winners, World Series champion, and who will and won't make the playoffs. Okay, we'll start with the awards. MVP, most valuable player. We'll start in the American League. A lot of newcomers to the American League in the offseason. You know, Albert Pujols, Prince Fielder, to go along with Josh Hamilton. You know, Longoria. You know, all the great players. A-Rod, all the great players in the American League. But a guy I'm picking, it is coming from the National League to the American League. I know I'm getting a lot of heat for this, but I think Albert Pujols, best player in baseball, future Hall of Famer, best hitter, whatever you want. He is the best player in baseball. I think he takes home the MVP. I know it would be a lot of switching. You know, he'd be going from National League to American League, a lot of different pitching, but I don't think it's going to matter. This guy is all around the best player in baseball. When it's all said and done, he will be your 2012 American League MVP. Okay, moving to the National League. You know, with Pujols leaving, like I said, and Prince Fielder leaving, opens up a lot of doors to other guys to win this award. And, you know, guys like Ryan Howard or Chase Utley or Hanley Ramirez on the Marlins to win this award. But Joey Votto is looking for a new deal, so he's going to have a great year this year. He's on a very good team. He has a lot of protection around him, like Jay Bruce and Brent Phillips. And I think Joey Votto won the MVP 2 years ago, and I think he fell off the last year, but I think he comes back to life this year. And I think Joey Votto wins the National League MVP. Okay, moving to one of my favorite awards, the Cy Young. Who doesn't love great pitching? I know I do. Starting the American League. One way to go here. I mean, there's a few other good pitchers in the American League, like Greinke and Hernandez, Felix Hernandez on the Marlins, but how can I go against Justin Verlander, who last year probably the most dominating pitching year I've ever seen? And I don't think he's got as good as year last year because it'll be hard to repeat that, but I think Justin Verlander from your Detroit Tigers will be back-to-back Cy Young champion. Moving to the National League, a lot of good pitchers as always, but a lot of upcoming pitchers like Clayton Kershaw. But I'm going to go with the old Grizzly vet. I'm going to go with Roy Halladay. You know, as a Blue Jay fan, one of my favorite pitchers when he's with the Jays. And I got to go with Roy Halladay, the best pitcher in my opinion, the best pitcher in baseball. Maybe Justin Verlander a close second, but Roy Halladay, consistent year in, year out, brings the heat every year. The Doc takes home the Cy Young. He'll make some subscriptions here for strikeouts and a lot of wins, and a lot of people in the National League will not like that. Okay, moving to Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year, interesting. You know, it's a crapshoot. You don't really know when these rookies come, but you don't know who's going to be good and who's not going to be good. But in the American League, you know, Hugh Darvish coming over from Japan, all the hype around him, and I got to go with him. I mean, if this guy is as good as the hype is, he's going to have a really good career, and I love Hugh Darvish to take home Rookie of the Year. If he's even a little good, a little as the hype, he's going to take this award because he has so much hype coming into the year. Moving to the National League Rookie of the Year, you know, it's a little ballsy with this next pick. Just because I know Bryce Harper isn't right now on the roster with the Washington Nationals, but this guy, same as Hugh Darvish, a lot of hype coming in. And if he comes up and is as good as they say he's going to be, he's going to be the Rookie of the Year. Don't know when he's going to get called up. I think he will get called up this year. Maybe around, I expect maybe a June call-up, same as Strasburg, so he can save a little cash. Call him up, and this guy can hit the ball as good as I say he can hit. He will be your 2012 Rookie of the Year in the National League. All right, moving to the good stuff. Playoff teams. Who's going to make playoffs? Who's not going to make the playoffs? At the end of the day, that's all that matters. All right, let's start with the American League East. I love the Yankees. Still, they have one good run left in them. I think they come out of the East. In the Central, the Tigers. How could I go against Tigers? Big Tiger sport right now, and I think Tigers win the Central. The West, I like the Angels come out there. A lot of good pickups in the offseason from Pujols to CJ, and I love the Angels to come out of the West. Wild card teams. Remember, this year there's an extra wild card team in each league, so it'd be 2 wild card teams, not just one this year. So my first wild card team is the Texas Rangers. How am I going to go against Texas? Been in the World Series the last 2 years. All the hype around Hugh Darvish, but I like Texas. I think they go back to the playoffs. I think they go to the World Series or anything, but I think Texas goes back to the playoffs. And the last playoff team, I want to go with the Toronto. All my heart, I want to go with the Jays, but I just couldn't. I couldn't go against the Tampa Bay Rays, who year in year are just consistent. It doesn't matter. They know how to win games. It doesn't matter. Like last year, they lost, Crawford, Pena, all their impact players, most of their impact players, and they didn't lose a beat. They kept on winning and made the playoffs. So like Tampa Bay be your last wild card team this year. Moving over to the National League, the East. I love the Phillies to come in the East. The Central, Cincinnati Reds. The West, I think the San Francisco Giants have a bounce back year and go back to the playoffs and win the West. My first wild card team is going to be the Braves. Could have been the playoffs last year. Probably should have been the playoffs last year. Choked down the stretch. I don't think they choked this time. A very good team, and I think the Atlanta Braves go back to the playoffs. My last wildcard team, how can I go against the defending champs? I know they lost Pujols, but this is still a very, 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 very good team, and still could win the World Series this year. That's how good they are, and I don't think they're going to lose. They're going to fall off a little bit because they lost their best player, but the St. Louis Cardinals still make the playoffs and are your final wildcard team in the National League. All right, moving to the big one. World Series. I like, coming out of the American League, I love the Tigers. I think Tigers go to the World Series. Verlander, all that great pitching staff. Some hitters, too. Such an overall great team. Prince Field is going to bring a lot to that team. I think the Tigers go to the World Series, but will lose in 7 games to your 2012 World Series champions, Philadelphia Phillies. Roy Halladay gets a ring. Cliff Lee gets a ring. Philadelphia goes insane because the Philadelphia Phillies, best all-around team this year, does not choke, does not stumble in the playoffs this year, and goes to the World Series and wins the World Series. Game 7, Roy Halladay, complete game. World Series MVP, Roy Halladay. Well, that's it for my baseball previews. I've had fun doing them. I hope you've been fun watching them because they've been a great time doing them. And like I said, the Philadelphia Phillies take home the World Series this year. Roy Halladay finally gets his World Series ring. And Philadelphia goes insane. And the Philadelphia Phillies are your 2012 World Series champs. All right. That's it for this time. But till next time, I'm Aaron Duxbury saying, I'm Dux, and I know sports. Kind of.